The COVIDUnsafe app was recently launched by the Australian government in an effort to curb the outbreak of coronavirus. Before we even get started, I'd like to suggest that you not download the app until you reach the end of this video. And if you already have downloaded the app, blink twice if you need help. Okay, let's get started. Broadly, this is how the app works. The app uses Bluetooth to exchange information with other smartphones around you that also have the app on them. Once two phones have been close to each other for 15 minutes, they make a note of it. This phone was close to me. Now, this initial exchange of information is anonymized, meaning my phone doesn't have access to your data even if both our COVID-safe riddled smartphones were close to each other. So far, so good. But what happens if anyone you came in contact with tests positive for COVID-19? Well, that person would notify the app, and the government would proceed to decrypt the entirety of the encrypted data on that person's phone. AKA, the government gets total access to the information not only of every single person that tests positive for COVID-19, but also the COVID-safe users they came in contact with. But for those of you who just can't wait to have your privacy breached by the government and dread having to come in contact with a sick person to have it done, don't worry. The government gave itself the legal right to your information a long time ago. Or did you forget the AntiCorruption Law passed by the government a couple of years ago? The Telecommunications Assistance and Access Act. This innocent piece of legislation allows the government to force companies to provide secret backdoor access to the encrypted data on their platform.
This bill is extremely broad. It contains very strong powers, and there are a huge number of potential unforeseen consequences.
Though, to the credit of the government, if the company feels uncomfortable giving access, they can just choose to go to jail instead. If you feel uneasy with how easy it would be for the government to access your information after registering with COVIDUnsafe, you might want to take a look at the company the Australian government hired to hold all of that sweet, sweet data. It's a small online shop out of Bellevue, Washington called Amazon. The government has reached the conclusion that Amazon was the best company suited to hold sensitive information, probably due to its stellar track record on internet security. Except for that time in 2018 when Amazon accidentally released customers' emails just before Black Friday, or that time in 2019 when Amazon Web Services exposed millions of Facebook users' data, or maybe later in 2019 when Amazon was blamed for a data breach that affected 106 million individuals, about 4 times the population of Australia. But other than that, absolutely stellar track record. Now, considering all of this, you might be thinking, all of this risk is worth it. I'm willing to have my data surveilled by the government, I trust Amazon to hold my private information, and I trust that secret updates won't be implemented to expand the data collected through the app. Seriously, Google secret updates. You can't make this stuff up. But let's say you're willing to take all of that risk for the greater good. Well, not so fast. According to the Australian government itself, the app would need to be downloaded by 40% of the population to be effective. That's 10 million Australians that would have to willingly put Big Brother on their smartphone. Does that seem likely? Well, consider this. Commonwealth Bank's app has about 5 million downloads. ANZ has 3 million, Westpac and NAB have about 2 million each. Altogether, the big 4 banks have a combined total of approximately 12 million downloads for their apps. So for the Australian population tracing app to work in any way, roughly the same number of Australians who have banking apps on their phone would need to sign up to be surveilled. Does that seem likely? It doesn't seem likely to me at all. So if you ask my opinion, and you didn't, I'm going to go out on a ledge and suggest you not sign up to be surveilled by the government by downloading an app whose data is harvested on the insecure servers of an evil corporation. Perhaps, instead, try the radical approach of washing your hands, social distancing, and whenever possible, staying at home.